Over the next few videos, we're going on a medium format road trip across Iceland, working with some incredibly talented people and creating some great work with some beautiful cameras. And the first camera is going to be the Hasselblad 501. Since lockdown, a friend of ours, Icelandic designer Sigrun, had been staying in this tiny cabin in the middle of nowhere. And she offered us the invitation to go and stay with her, use her clothes, and take pictures in Iceland.
Yay! It's a box. Portra Tmax. Yeah, well done. See, got this.
I'm getting it.
So the silk print on this was made by a farmer who lives up the road.
This is going to be tits out.
Yeah. Shooting from above down to a glacier who's just had an eruption. That's what the pattern looks like. This is just sleeves. It goes around your neck.
We could do that.
So then you can play with the wind. From a designer's point of view, the wind is your ally. You want movement in your material.
I am super excited, but I was also super excited to be going very quickly down this road. But
Do you know how you spot a tourist in Iceland?
How?
They all drive dusters. We have a song just like this. There's a duster here, there's a duster there, there's a duster everywhere. And then he's slowing down because the road is uneven. It's like, dude, you're missing the point. See what I mean?
Yeah.
yes!
It's supposed to be a theme park ride. And all we got was a dusty ride.
I'm going to start off with the Hasselblad. I mean, what else would I start off with? And we're here. And we're going to take some pictures of Jamie in some of Sigrun's clothes. And we're going to do something quite pre-Raphaelite just down here. So the first thing we need to do, because it's really quite cold and very windy, is work the poses out before she gets changed. And with the poses worked out, it's time for her to brave that ally, the Icelandic wind. With this shot, I've got two choices, because I've got an amazing girl and an amazing location, and the two are going to be playing against each other, and you've got to try and find the harmony. And one of the best ways to do that is with your lens choice. Now, I've currently got an 80mm lens, which if you're shooting 35 is the same as a 50. So it's the equivalent of the human eyesight, the standard lens. But if I put a much longer lens in, I will bring the background and the subject together, but I'll lose depth of field. But on the other hand, I can put a much wider lens in and make the subject incidental to the scene, because we're all part of nature anyway. It all looked so fantastic. I just wanted to keep shooting. But what I did in the end was I shot 2 rolls of Portra, one on the longer lens and one on the 50mm lens. I also shot a roll of Tmax 100 on the 50mm lens with a red filter, because the red filter really brings the skies out. So we just got back to the ranch and the sky behind me is absolutely beautiful. It's a bit windy and it's a little bit cold, but when this country blesses you with good weather and good light, it'd be a shame not to use it. So I'm going to shoot just a couple of landscape pictures on the Hasselblad to round off our first day. Well, that's definitely all for tonight. It's a nice way to finish off. Come out to a place called Strandarkirkja. Sorry if I butchered that. I'm not very good at Icelandic words. I'm learning though. I'm going to put the model out there on that little island. I've got a Kodak AD600 battery operated flash gun, which should be powerful enough, I hope, just to give a little bit of separation so I can drop the ambient light down and get a really, really powerful, dark, moody sky. The plan was to use a few rolls of Portra and one of Tmax before the tide came in. But I quickly found the tide coming in much more rapidly than anticipated, and the 50mm lens I wanted to use failing to fire the flash. We managed to dash off a roll of colour with the flash firing intermittently before Jamie had to wade back to shore. We definitely got it on the Canon. We might have got it on the Hasselblad. This old lens needs servicing.
Look, it's a seal!
After being joined by 2 seals, we decided to forget about wet feet and have another go up on the rocks. The difference between the flash firing and the flash not firing may not seem huge, but in a darkroom you'd be able to get a lot more out of that negative, which as an attitude, if you carry it forward to digital photography, means you're going to get a lot more out of your pictures.
Status report. My feet were wet. My feet are now dry. But now my socks are wet. And that's why they're on the dashboard. And my boots are wet too. They were very, very full.
Got some footage all by myself of this amazing location, but I made sure that there was no one in the shot because I wanted to make it seem like it was more like nature as opposed to the tourist area that it has been. Secret black beach.
Yeah. Sigrun had told us about a black beach only the locals know about, that it would be undisturbed and we could do a really special shoot there.
Circle in the middle is on the middle peak. The point of this rock that I was sitting on is in the first full lower left-hand square. I've had a preference for negative space. It's not really negative because you've got all of that in the background. This is going to be a quick shoot.
For the last shoot on the Hasselblad on this trip, I wanted to end on a high, and the last shoot ended up with things going wrong and Jamie getting stranded in the water. So I wanted to do something really, really cool to finish it off with. And I'd had this idea in my head about shooting Jamie naked against the black sands because she's incredibly pale. The sands are very, very black, especially when they're wet. And she's got this really strong red hair. And I shot it in colour and black and white. With the black and white stuff, I used a red filter so I could really bring out that contrast. And you were very careful that you didn't want to disturb the sands because this beach was completely undisturbed when we got to it. And you wanted it to feel like the waters had just receded and left you stranded there. And I think we got that. It looked really cool. So, if you like this video, you can support the channel by sharing and subscribing. You can also buy film on the Amazon wish list. You can now support us on Patreon, and you can buy the prints on Darkroom Tech. All the links are below, and we'll see you next week with another video.
Happy shooting.